First of all, the justification has to do, I support fully that it's long overdue. And I think all those against it since the conversation started are not really against that. But the reasoning behind the change is what people are not comfortable with. That's what so far I've observed. All these talks that Paul has done has not really questioned the need to have a name change, but he is suggesting further information that the government need to provide. Now, we are trying to do a historical identity and correcting of the records. First of all, every project, infrastructure, or a monument, when it is constructed, it has its own purpose, objectives, and name. There was no airport by the time Nkrumah became Prime Minister of this republic. What we have could not even be called an airstrip. It was a military base. Somebody thought there was a need for the country to have an international airport that would liberate us from mental slavery at the time. He thought of opening borders among African countries to increase trade and liberalize our economies. That was the reason why we established the international airport there. At the time of initiating that project, even at the commissioning, the project came with its name. So we are just trying to do the historical identity in this matter, that the time that the project was constructed, it came with a name. The person who built it hasn't used or didn't use his name to name after the project, but he looked at identifying the local roots of the Ghanaian economy at that time, which was Accra.
So why has Nkrumah become a consideration for the renaming rather than Accra International Airport?
No, it is the Accra International Airport that is we currently have, even at the board level. There's nothing like Nkrumah International Airport. That has not come up.
You have heard some of your MPs suggest that
that is a suggestion.
There's thinking about some Ghana chiefs and other things.
Fortunately, you said that I'm a member of the board.
That's right.
That is what the discussion is about now. We haven't personalized the infrastructure because you give opportunity for future governments to come and meddle with this type of conversation we are having right now. So the historical identity and correcting the records in this matter is that the time that the airport was constructed, it was named Accra International Airport, and it must stand. Now, you don't profit from overthrowing the same president who established that airport. I always believe that we must align all our national monuments with democratic values. Today, I'm hearing people defend coup d'etats. In fact, we tolerated President Akufo-Addo over the last 8 years because of our belief in democratic values. So if whatever, look, and Samson, every coup d'etat that has happened in any part of the world has justifications. Every coup. You are giving reasons why Nkrumah was overthrown, but I'm telling you that similar reasons were given why the 1969 coup, 72 coup happened. Many other reasons was given to why 1979 coup happened and 1981. And same happens everywhere in the world. Nobody has ever taken up arms against a constitutionally elected government without giving us these reasons. Oppression, silencing the media, limiting the avenues for constitutional change and democratic processes. That has always been the standard reasons. It is not peculiar to Nkrumah. So I am saying that what Kotoka did cannot be a substitution for legitimizing coup d'etat and saying that we should isolate his own and treat him like a liberator or a freedom fighter and question all other coups that has happened in any part of this country or any part of the world. Now, look, 1960 Constitution, every constitution, you are lawyers, is evolving. No constitution, any part of this world, has remained same since 1960. That is why it always gives room for constitutional amendments. So if 1960 Constitution cannot be used today, every constitution is time-bound. Because emerging issues come that at the time of drafting the Constitution, you might not have contemplated the existence of such issues.
There are constitutions that have survived 200 plus years.
And always getting amendments.
With very little or no amendments, except judicial lawmaking amendments.
Which is part of the amendment process. So I'm saying that constitutions are living documents. So you don't base your argument because the 1960 constitution in your mind was utterly bad. And because of that, Nkrumah was a despot. That was the circumstance. You need to always no two scenarios are the same. You need to always analyze everything based on the times and circumstances.
But Paul is talking about facts. What's your problem with the facts?
No, I'm saying that he talked about the Prevention Detection Act.
Correct.
That was in direct response to the several attempts that was made on the life of the president.
No, I talked about the 1960 constitution.
Please, I've just said that every constitution is a living document. And it is always evolving. No constitution is static. But my point is that whatever policy or law that Nkrumah brought, you must not isolate it by just talking about the law itself. You look at the circumstance. Have we ever heard anywhere a president shot several times? Bomb explosions. Where have you ever seen that? You created a very hostile environment for the president. So, for me, I think that, yes, he is a human. We must not also try to paint him like an angel.
Dictators always face assassination attempts.
So
when that is the only way to remove them.
So I'm saying that coup here or coup anywhere always have justifiable reasons. And Samson, what Kotoka did opened the gateway for many other coups in Africa. So don't analyze it in the context of only Ghana. He became the champion of promoting other coups in other parts of the world. And look, immediately they did the coup. There was a counter coup in 1967 by Atta Issah. He fell in battle at the airport. That was the reason why he was named. The airport was named after him. Does it mean that every Casa jet in Ghana now should be named after the aggressive heroes? Because they died through a helicopter. Does it mean that if he had died in the sea, we would have named the Labadi Sea after Kotoka? What type of logic is that? So the reason why they named the airport after him was wrong in the first place. Because he deserved no such recognition by mere fact that you had fallen in battle. Naming spree. In fact, the NPP should be the last political party to be talking about this thing. You came to Tamale, despite knowing the rich culture and history of our traditional area. In fact, the only chief that unites the Moli Dagombes is Nagbewa. When you brought this issue of renaming chiefs at the airport, first of all, we were against it ab initio that we are now a cosmopolitan region. And to that end, no particular tribe is superior. Name it after the Tamale International Airport. They said no. And they went to select a partisan person, non-partisan person called Yakubu Tale, a sub-chief of the Yana.
That's wrong.
An existing Yana is sitting down and you give an airport name to a sub-chief because he was a foundational member of your party. Yet, he sat in the board that approved this name. Yakubu Tale. Then, a university that Dombo contributed nothing was named. Oh, the airport has been reversed to Tamale International Airport. That was the intent. SK Dombo. What was his contribution to UDS? CK Tedem. Opoko Ampoma at UPSC. They renamed all these airports. Now, people are talking about cost. Can you quantify how much this renaming cost the country? But nobody talked about cost at that time. With several renaming that happened under President Akufo-Addo.
So part of the reset,
yes,
is an agenda to rename or restore names. So Tamale was turned to Yakubu Tale.
Yes.
You have restored it to Tamale.
Tamale was cool.
proposed. It was
It was named.
It was on it. It was on the airport.
And if you were landing,
It was on the
they'll
airport,
say, welcome to the Yakubu Tali International Airport.
That's right. It was not just proposed.
But the point of order.
It was there. It was in
Point of
effect.
order, in terms of cost.
So you have changed that. Hold on. You have changed that back to Tamale.
Tamale.
And so Accra is only part of that project.
That project.
Okay.
And look, it will interest you to know, when we went to Kumasi, Kumasi was renamed Prempeh International Airport.
Prempeh the second.
The first.
Prempeh the first. Sorry.
Good. This was agreed with the traditional leaders. So that showed the identity of the Ashanti Kingdom. So that's what I'm saying, that when you are doing such things, you must always engage stakeholders.
Which traditional leader in Ashanti will disagree?
So if they had come to Yana and we said we want Bewa, everybody would have fallen in line. But you want to give it to a Tolong chief, a former chief.
No, but the division there is not the same as the manner in which, Asantehene has coordinated control over the Ashanti region.
Yes.
But there's a regional traditional council that should be able to sit and discuss it.
So my point is that Prempeh is not rejected by this government because we see it to be an organic.
You won't dare.
No. Can I make a point of order on the cost? He said
you won't dare. You won't dare attempt to reject Prempeh if you were not interested.
I'm saying that
because you won't dare touch Sikeja. That's the point.
No.
You see, we see in this country, people see how the political leaders treat chiefs.
Yes. That's the truth. They are afraid.
And the selective nature of treating the chiefs.
Yes.
There are ethnic, groups that are not happy about it.
Yes.
But because of the numbers in votes and things, the politicians can't do otherwise. That's what you do.
That's not even part of the consideration. In fact, we don't place one region above the other. In the second place, was a consensus agreement between
if Otunfo Osei Tutu says, this is the name I want, you guys can't do foco about it.
And I'm saying that it is not even part of the conversation.
But that's what I'm telling you. Don't say there was consensus.
Meanings to it.
Don't say there was consensus.
Don't attribute meanings to it. Then I hear this regional and tribal bigotry analysis in this matter, saying that an Everman, the only Everman whose name is been given to a national monument, then the voters vote for the NDC. Such conversation should be treated with the contempt it deserves. We must not trivialize this type of conversation to regional bigotries and tribal bigotries. The fact of the matter is that the reasoning given by this government to restore it to the day that the project was commissioned, it came with a name.
Yeah. So people,
and there
are people who align with the soundness of that kind of argument. But again, at what cost?
Yes. So I've said something about the cost.
All over the world, you are going to have to change this. At what cost?
Yes.
Paul, I'm coming back to
you. So first of all, we need to ask ourselves this question. I've already given you numerous other renamings that happened in the past. It came with cost. Electoral Commission, even with a logo, it came with cost. The country was able to find money to deal with those issues. This is something that the airport company and the government of Ghana can accommodate for the sanctity of our collective unity. In fact, there's nothing more expensive than having any day somebody comes to Ghana, it reminds us of our dark days in the 1960s. A quick search on Kotoka.
What's wrong with reminding us about our liberator to a certain extent?
I disagree.
Regardless of all the good, that we can associate with
I disagree that he's a liberator. He opened the door for impunity in Africa. He opened the door for many other coup d'etats to happen in Africa. He retarded our development.
So your wish is that Nkrumah would have remained such a dictator for life?
Kotoka. No. Look, we may have had excesses in those regimes. I believe that whatever worst form of dictatorship that you have, there are always avenues to deal with that.
Okay, thank you.
Finally, let me conclude with it. Let me conclude with it. I'm saying that whatever reasoning that we gave for the coup d'etat, Ankara, Afrifa, Kotoka, did nothing for Ghana, I dare say. In 3 years, what exactly can you remember them for? Apart from what he just said, that
thank you. Hold on. Thank you. Hold on. Senor, I'm coming to you, but just a quick point of order from him.
The board and we approved these.
Tanle, Yakubu Tanle, and the rest of them.
The airport was built. That was the first thing we did. So it's not we're not changing any name. So that was the original cost. So the Tamale Airport was being constructed. They finished constructing it, and the decision was taken that name it this way. So we branded it. We didn't change something that had been done and go and remove something and pay more.
No.
It wasn't like that.
No,
was it being refurbished or constructed?
Oh, it was a new.
It's a terminal. It's not an airport you built. No, it's not the airport you built.
It was actually John Mahama who started
I'm coming. So when you build a terminal, it is not the same thing as building an airport.
Yes.
But they built an airport. John Mahama started it, they finished it.
They built a terminal. There was already an existing airport.
The airport existed.
It was already existed, which was called Tamale International Airport.
It was an Air Force base.
Yes.
No, it was an airport.
It was an airport. It was an airport.
It was an airport. Tamale International Airport.
So what's an airport?
What John Mahama did.
I'm also on the board.
He was there at the
to build an international airport.
We started
Yes. Can you call Tamale Airport before then an international airport?
Yes, in 2016. Let me tell
Go
you.
and look at John Mahama's sessional address.
Can you let me provide this information
that he
for
was
you?
building an international airport.
Let me provide this information
What's
for
an
you.
airport?
Let me provide this information.
Kumasi was also being
It's important.
internationalized. That's why the terminal was built.
No,
So
it's
it's
not-
now an international airport.
No. It is not a terminal.
There's an airport in Takoradi today. It's not an international
Boss.
airport.
It's an airport.
It's not an international airport.
For the purpose of education,
But it's an airport in Wa.
Yes.
For the purpose of education,
So they have an
it
ID.
is not a terminal that defines the status of an airport.
Yeah.
It's the runway. I'm saying that in 2016, we airlift people directly from Tamale to Jeddah. Because at that time, it was already classified as Tamale International Airport. It's not the terminal.
But when you wanted to
You
take
don't
full
define
credit,
terminals by
when you
international
wanted to take
status.
full
That one
credit
is
for the work you were doing
You
there,
can check it.
when you wanted to take full credit for the work you were doing there, you said you were building an international airport. And so when they came in and they continue with that story, now because it doesn't favor you, you are changing the story. That's the point.
I'm saying that what there was already called Tamale International Airport.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Now let's go to Senor.
So
John Mahama did not build an airport.
You see the point?
Yes, that's a good point.
We built a terminal. We built a terminal.
So you see the point? Exactly the point.
Tamale Airport has the longest runway in Ghana. Tamale has the longest runway in Ghana.
So that's the point.
On record,
The sessional address in Parliament.
Okay.
So John Mahama lied.
Gentlemen, it's Senor stand. It's Senor stand. Gentlemen,
The sessional address of John Mahama calls it an international airport.
Thank you, Senor stand. Thank you, Senor
John Mahama
stand.
lied.
Paul and Issa.
John Mahama lied.
Paul, Issa, and Kojo, thank you.